Okay, what if I told you that you could retire by 2030? Seriously. Now, that probably sounds like some far off fantasy, but what we're breaking down today is a 4 year mission kicking off in 2026. It sounds a little crazy, I know, but the whole idea is that the old rules of retirement, well, they're broken. So let's dive into the blueprint.
So, this is the big question, right? Can you actually go from starting your investment journey in 2026 to being fully retired by 2030? Now, the argument we're digging into isn't about some kind of magical thinking or a lottery ticket. It's about swapping out decades of just passively waiting with 4 years of super intense, focused, and structured action.
And this quote, man, it just gets right to the heart of the entire mission. The idea of early retirement isn't impossible for most people. It just feels that way because they don't have a map. This is all about making a shift from just letting time pass by to actively building a system for your own financial freedom. So let's make sure we're framing this the right way. This isn't just about saving money for 4 years. No, you have to think of it like an active mission with objectives and phases. We're going to break down the 4 key operational phases that can turn this huge, vague dream into a real step-by-step plan. First step is phase 1, the blueprint. This is the part where we stop guessing and we start calculating. Without a specific target, you're not really aiming at anything, are you? The second you turn that dream into an actual number, the whole mission snaps into focus and becomes real and measurable. So the very first step is turning that dream into a number. And the benchmark for this is what's known as the 25x rule. It's simple. You figure out how much you spend to live for a year, you multiply that by 25, and boom, that's your financial independence target. And it's not a random number. It's based on the idea that you can safely pull out 4% of your investments every year and basically never run out of money. Let's make that real for a second. So, for instance, if you're living a lifestyle that costs you, say, $33,600 a year, then your target number is $840,000. Now, I know that number might sound huge, a little intimidating, but having that precise target is what makes the whole mission possible. It's the destination for our 4 year journey. And this is where the math gets really real and just strips away all the emotion. As you can see here, with the same starting cash and the same returns, investing $1,500 a month, well, it just doesn't get you there. It falls short. But bump that up to $2,500 a month, you're right on target. See, the numbers don't lie. They just show you what it's going to take, and honestly, they create a really powerful sense of urgency.
Okay, moving into phase 2. You've got your target number and you know how much you need to put away each month. Now it's time to build the engine that's going to generate all that cash flow. This is the machine you're going to use to fuel your portfolio, month in and month out. And this right here, this illustrates maybe the single most important mindset shift you have to make. Most of us, we spend first, and then we try to invest whatever's left over at the end of the month, right? The mission demands that you flip that script completely. You invest first, you pay your future self, and then you learn to live on what's left. So how do you actually fuel this engine? Well, it really comes down to 3 core actions. First, you get rid of anything working against you. That means you destroy high-interest debt that's basically compounding in the wrong direction. Second, you automate everything. You make investing your default setting. And third, you expand. You strategically grow your income to pour even more fuel on the fire. And now we get to the most exciting part. Phase 3, the tipping point. This is that magical moment when the whole system just comes alive, when the growth starts to speed up all on its own, and your progress becomes, well, exponential. The plan points to a kind of critical mass, often right around the $100,000 mark. See, before you hit this point, your investment returns can feel kind of small. But once you cross that line, a 10% market return suddenly means an extra 10 grand a year. Your money is now making serious money all by itself. This is the moment the magic of compounding really, truly ignites. To get there, you need the right kind of vehicle. This example portfolio is built for both speed and for resilience. That big growth layer, that's your engine for heavy compounding. The income layer adds another stream of cash to reinvest. And that stability layer, that acts like a shock absorber. So one bad dip in the market doesn't completely derail the mission. And this is exactly what that acceleration looks like. In year 1, look, most of your growth is coming from your own hard work, your contributions. But fast forward to year 4, and the returns from the portfolio itself are becoming a massive driver of growth. You can literally see the curve getting steeper. That's the engine working for you. And all of this leads to a rule for this mission that is absolutely non-negotiable. You have to reinvest everything.
Every dividend, every cent of interest, it has to be fed directly back into the machine. That's how the snowball gets bigger and faster with every single rotation. It's the secret sauce to compounding on a super compressed timeline. Okay, so the engine is built, it's accelerating. Now comes what might be the hardest part of all. Phase 4, staying the course. This is all about mastering your own discipline and protecting your progress from the single biggest threat there is, your own emotions when things get chaotic.
And here's the thing, you don't master discipline with willpower. You master it with systems. You automate your contributions so you don't even have to think about them. You set your rules ahead of time, like a simple one. I will never sell in a panic. And you make the money hard to get to. You build a system that literally protects you from yourself.
That system needs multiple layers of defense. Think of them like financial shields. Your emergency fund is the outer wall. It protects your investments from life's curveballs so you never have to sell at the wrong time. Your portfolio's stability layer is like an internal buffer, and your lifestyle flexibility gives you the agility to adapt, making tiny course corrections along the way so you never drift too far off target. And that brings us to the finish line, 2030. You've followed the plan, you've built the engine, and you've protected it. This last phase is all about the mental shift, the transition into a new reality where going to work is no longer mandatory.
This is such a critical insight. Retirement isn't some final endpoint, it's a transition. The incredibly hard work of building the engine, that part's done. Your new job is to just be a good manager of that engine, letting it run and making sure it continues to support you for decades and decades to come.
So let's just recap that entire mission one more time. You start in 2026 by creating the blueprint. In 2027, you get to work on construction, building the engine. By 2028, you should hit ignition as compounding starts to take over. And in 2030, you arrive, making that transition into financial independence. It's a clear, logical path from a fuzzy dream to absolute control. Look, starting in 2026 to retire by 2030, it isn't a fantasy. It's a structured process. It absolutely requires intensity, discipline, and a clear plan. But the tools are all right here. So really, the only question left to ask is, are you ready?